Welcome back to This Is My Bourbon Podcast, everybody. I'm your host, Perry, and with me, just like he always is, it's the Whiskey Mutant, Eric.
It's me. I'm glad I wasn't swallowed.
Can we start an episode like that?
Can we?
I hope so. We're not going back. Never go back.
Never go back to back.
Never surrender.
Never say die.
Yeah, like the Goonies, I guess. I don't know.
They were searching for a pirate too. Old One-Eyed Willie.
Man.
What are you for Halloween, One-Eyed Willie? Why do you have two eyes?
You got two eyes. I can see you under your eye patch.
Idiot.
We were talking about Halloween and how I was Captain Hook without a hook.
And you ruined everybody's Halloween.
Everybody was mad at me for it.
and you tried to explain that you were Captain the Hook before the accident, and they didn't buy it, and you made kids cry.
And I didn't have a crocodile with me.
You ruined all of Halloween.
Peter Pan and Tinkerbell didn't fly, and
it was just, I heard about it from my side of town.
Yeah. Sorry. Word travels fast in Lexington.
Yeah, real fast.
Do you hear about Ritter?
Yeah. If you want to hear more about Ritter, you should go to patreon.com/mybourbonpodcast. For as little as $1 a month, you can support the show. But at $5, you get all the bonus stuff.
He's got an inaccurate Captain Hook costume.
Yeah.
It's ruining everybody's Halloween.
You're canceled from everything.
I try to go to Kroger, and they're just like,
nope. They just
you
point
remember
to your,
Halloween of 24?
Picture. Get out. Hook with a hand.
I walk around just with doing the hook with the finger, and they're all like, "No, man, what are you doing?"
If you want to get some
it's on my
legal Ritter
on my
content, patreon.com/mybourbonpodcast. $5 tier, you get all the bonus stuff. We record pregame chats. You get to get this episode early, uncut, and then we do other bonus stuff. This week we did some Pop Chickawawa, 2 bottles from 450 North Spirits.
That's true.
See what we think about those on there. It's like a little review. We may throw in a little bit of adult language in with that, but it's all for fun. Have fun.
I got an idea.
Grow up
too. Sweeten the deal for some people at different tiers as well.
You don't have to subject yourself to that.
I'm not. Well,
we've talked about.
I know.
This.
I was thinking about, we center a lot of what we do on Patreon around content, and I want to keep doing content, of course. So I was thinking about like at the $10 tier, doing like $10 and up tier, doing like an extra weekly review of something. Like, not always bourbon. Excuse me.
Like hummus.
Like, if there's a beer that I'm drinking.
Olive oil.
Doing a review of that. Sure, yeah.
Pair of shoes.
Something. Yeah. Because there's a lot of stuff that, I go through. It's like mixed bag reviews, Sometimes it'll be bourbon. Sometimes it won't. If there's another book or something I don't talk about on the tips and bits, throw that in there too. You can include stuff as well. Okay, well, fine.
I don't know if I want to.
You jerk.
$100 tier. They can get me reviewing some shampoo
that you don't really use that much
in my beard.
Okay, fair enough. But anyway, we normally kick off episodes with Flying Blind. And I got a Flying Blind this week.
I'm ready. I'm going to blow this one away.
Yeah. We are...
Thanks for the confidence.
No, I didn't mean it that way. Yeah, sure you are. Sorry, I was already in... I was just already moving through what I was about to say next.
Yeah.
You absolutely are. That felt disingenuous, too.
Yeah, I still don't feel confident.
I know what this is. I'm going to show you on the video what this is. I'm also going to include right here for the audio listeners. Well, I guess audio and video. Just a
if
little.
You're watching, you can't have it.
Yeah, what this is, just so you know, before we start tasting it.
Perry is showing. What's that game show or like something where
it was Figure It Out?
Yes. Figure it out.
It was the secret slime action is. And my favorites were always the guy's name was Danny. I don't remember his last name. But
Trejo.
he was always no, definitely was not Danny Trejo. But he was always just the weirdest one out of the group. But the best Secret Slime action was always the Secret Slime action is being Danny, and then it would
from
like
Pete and
get
Pete.
yeah from Pete and Pete.
Yeah, the young one.
Yeah, and it would get to him, on the panel, and it would just slime him.
He just looks
and
around.
it would be like, what did I do? And it was like, well, the Secret Slime action was being Danny, and he'd be like, oh, you guys.
And then but in reality, he was like, he flips the thing. He's
that was like yeah, he would like quit the show because of
he
it.
walks there like, Danny, we're sorry. They cut back, they cleaned up, and he's like, you do this one more
I can't
time.
do this anymore.
I told you.
The next week that he's on, they do it again.
It's like Danny, you
having
actually don't
Danny's shirt on.
you actually don't have a show anywhere else, Danny.
Yeah,
so.
exactly. This is how you make your mortgage every month. Anyway, all right. So we're doing this blind. We're also reviewing this together.
This is the Hidden Barn Organic Weeded Bourbon.
You know, I saw a meme the other day where it shows a guy flying in like the universe, and it says, "This is what you see when you close your eyes too hard." And it reminded me of how when I do this, and I'm like, I come back and there's just like stuff flashing everywhere. I was like, "See, I'm not the only one." Ooh, you just opened it up, didn't you?
I did just open it up.
So you've not had this before?
Nope.
Interesting.
All right. You are good to go.
Okay. There it is. All right. Let's see what we got. Yeah. Okay. Looks pretty good on the color. Looks pretty good. Pretty good. A little weird on the nose. Kind of like burnt butterscotch.
Yeah.
Not mad. I'm not mad at it. Just kind of weird. Weird butterscotch. And honey. I guess butterscotch is kind of honey-like.
It is honey, though.
Yeah. Honey, butterscotch, a little bit of like it's burned.
Yeah.
Not mad.
A little kind of like you left the popcorn in the microwave for a little bit too long.
Yeah.
But not so long that it's burnt. Or not like everything's burnt. Just like a couple pieces.
It's almost like, like you got like a little hint of like a burnt smell.
Yeah.
But the whole thing.
Smoke.
Yeah.
Which I don't mind by any means. I think it's a nice little, nice little whiff.
Okay.
All right. There's a lot of fruit. A lot of grain.
Grainy.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty grainy.
Finish is... What is going on with the finish there? Brown sugar. Kind of all spicy.
I would guess this is younger.
6 years old, I think is how old it is.
I would not think it was 6 years old. It has that very crafty taste. Not my favorite, but I will say it is a little better than some real straight up craft whiskeys that when you say this is a craft whiskey, you're like, oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. This is, because it is on the craftier side, it's going to be a little bit more expensive. This is $80 a bottle.
Okay. I like the nose better than the palate. Maybe proof wise, 100?
106.
106.
Yeah, not bad.
Finish is a little flat.
Yeah, but not so far off.
No. It just kind of, I feel like when it starts to feel like it's got a little bit more flavor going on, like it kind of just drops off. Like I'm waiting for it. I'm waiting for that butterscotch. Like I wanted this to taste like butterscotch when I smelled it. Very kind of grainy.
it really starts to go towards like the more that I spend time with it and the more that I drink it, it starts to go towards like homemade popcorn. That's kind of the dominant note that I'm getting on the palate in the finish.
Yeah.
Just this like Orville Redenbacher microwave popcorn,
Yeah,
which I'm enjoying. I wish it were a little bit deeper in character and flavor.
Yeah.
But I mean, overall, I don't think it's bad.
No.
I think it just needs a little bit more oomph
It needs something.
to it.
Definitely needs something.
What would you think the secondary grain is in this, the flavoring grain?
A wheat?
It is a wheated bourbon.
This reminds me of a wheated bourbon that probably needed to stay in the barrel a little bit longer.
Look away for 1 second. Okay, there we go. Sorry, I just had to confirm that this was in fact 6 years old, so you're good to look back.
Okay. I don't usually say this. I think this could either use a little bit more time, or this may actually be a good component for a finishing.
Oh, okay.
I think, like you said, it needs a little bit more, and maybe that little bit more is either age or it could be another barrel. I don't know. I definitely had worse, but it just feels like an incomplete wheated bourbon, wheated whiskey, whatever you want.
It is a wheated bourbon.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's, before I tell you what this is,
Okay.
go through and do our review
All right.
of this. Nose, palate, finish, and price, with each category being out of 5 and a final score out of 20. What would you give the nose on this guy?
3.5.
I was also going to give it a 3.5.
I like the nose.
I like the nose quite a bit. Yeah.
It's a little weird, a little butterscotchy, a little honey-like. I'm not mad at the nose.
Yeah. Palate, I'm going to go 2.5 on this. I think it's very middle of the road. I think it needs a little bit more depth of character. It's just so bright,
Yeah.
you know? It's really leaning on that like crisp apple note, and again, like more time that I spend with it, it does give way towards some more buttered homemade microwave popcorn.
Gotcha.
So,
More of a 2.
Okay.
Close. Yeah, 2.
what about the finish for you?
1.5.
I'm actually still at a 2.5.
Okay.
There. Everything's pretty consistent for me with the palate. What do you think about the price at $80? 6-year-old wheated bourbon.
If I look at it on the outside, obviously you've gave me enough hints that it is a craftier whiskey. So yes, those prices are automatically going to be a little bit more expensive than normal. I would prefer this 50 and below.
Yeah.
I would say a 2.
Yeah, I'm still at a 2.5
So
there as well. Not the first thing that I'm picking up, but I still find that there is something.
there's potential here.
Yeah, and I think that there is still a good whiskey in the glass. I'm enjoying drinking
I
it.
can say I've had worse. That's for sure.
Where have you had worse from?
Hidden Barn, batch 1. It's better than that. Well,
Well, this is Hidden Barn's organic wheated bourbon.
it's a little better. So
I think it is better.
you got me.
I genuinely do think it is better.
I would prefer this over Hidden Barn batch 1. I will say that 100%.
Yeah.
So
I really wanted you to review this without knowing what it was.
well, I did.
Yeah. And I think it was all the better for it.
Well, interesting.
Yeah.
106.2. All right. There we go. So what's the total?
I think I'm at a 10.5.
Was a
You were lower than I was.
yeah, 2.5, 2, 4.5, 2, 6.5, 1.5, like an 8 or something like that.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, at least it's better than the batch one bourbon.
What you been drinking recently?
Got me good, baby. Let's see. I'm going to go back to Halloween last night.
Yeah.
I had 16-year Knob Creek single barrel.
Yeah.
Once again, they just don't make them like they used to.
They don't make them like they used to.
Started Halloween with that. But on the porch, since this was one of the first years that I didn't actually have to accompany a child.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Even Dash was by himself with his friends going down the neighborhood. So me and April sat on the porch, handed out candy, and I made a little bar for grown-ups. So I had the Banner's Weller Foolproof pick. I had Act 9 Midwinters.
Nice.
And a Blanton's. And it was fun. I gave out some whiskey to grown-ups. And so I made some old man's night because he was so pumped to try Blanton's.
Because he had been sober for 30 years.
I did not ruin somebody's sobriety.
You knocked him off the wagon.
No, he said he never got to have the Blanton's before.
That's
the
very
Blanton's
cool.
is what he said.
That's
the Blanton's. And also, shout out to my man, Captain America. He was the first person to take some bourbon.
Yeah.
And he did it with even like the negativity in his wife's voice.
Oh, no.
She said,
Oh, no.
"You go, Captain America." And as he took some Weller, because he said, "You know what?" Because he did this thing. He goes, "No." She's like, "We're good." And he's like, "Well, I don't remember the last time I had some Weller." I was like, "You can have some, man. It's right here." He's like, "I think I'm going to have some Weller." And his wife goes, "Okay, you go, Captain America." As she walks away.
Oh, no. That's a woman who knows what happens when her husband drinks.
I mean, he seemed like a clean-cut guy. I think maybe she wanted some. She didn't. I don't know. I don't know the story. I'm not going into it. But it was quite comical. But it was fun. I would sip on a little Midwinters and some Blantons and Weller as people came up. So
That's awesome.
yeah, it was a fun Halloween.
Other than that, not really too much of anything.
No, I'm trying to think. No, not really. I had some rye. I've been on a rye kick. I think most of the random pours I've grabbed. I did a pinhook rye. And then I think that's it.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
When I was in Frankfurt, I stopped in at Red Dot Liquor. And I, too,
Knob Creek.
been drinking on a Knob Creek that I wanted us to try a little bit of
Red Dot store pick.
together.
I love that they were just straight on the money with the name.
Didn't go crazy.
Nope.
Didn't have
Red
an
Dot
actual name
store
for
pick.
it or anything. That's just what it is. So we'll have a little bit of that.
Do you want a little bit of the 16-year while I try this one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Why don't we just both drink the 16 and forget this pick?
No. I had the 16 last night, so I'm very familiar with it at the moment. Of how syrupy and delicious and peanut butter. I mean, it's straight up peanut butter. So this one is
9 years.
9 years.
I feel like a bad friend.
No, thank you for being a bad friend. That's just the norm, though, man.
I know.
That's just what we're used to. I'm just saying, 16 years. Just take a moment. And dude, this thing is since 2019. 10/31/2019 is when they bottle selected or whatever.
5 years ago.
And it's still this good.
That's
I've
ridiculous.
sipped on this pretty much just Halloween only. We actually had this at the first live show I was on.
Yeah.
With Jason.
Mm-hmm. I remember.
Yeah, and I've just kind of just kept it for Halloween pours.
Yeah,
and it's still
amazing.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
it's not bad. This one.
well, that's 16.
For 9.5 years or whatever.
I mean, it
It's
is
pretty good.
a really solid.
And the bad
pick.
thing is, recently, and I say recently, probably in the past year or so, like, it kind of is hit or miss sometimes on these Knob Creek
It's
picks.
crazy.
We've had some that were like, because it used to be like Knob Creek pick, it's going to be 10 plus. Whether it's phenomenal or not, it's going to be delicious.
Yeah.
Some of them have been little boogers.
Yeah.
Little Debbie Downers.
Which is crazy because it's, for me, it's one of those bottles where I'm supposed to be able to rely on it. Just go to a store and for the most part, I can grab a Knob Creek pick and it's going to be pretty solid through and through. But yeah, they're not all made the same, unfortunately. But I mean, that can be chalked up to people's palates and
the same thing with Russell's
whatnot.
picks now. We've had some.
I don't want to talk about Russell's picks.
Now they're more expensive, but the last couple of years, we've had some doo-doos.
Yeah, we really have.
So
otherwise, though, Halloween was fun. It rained.
It did
like
rain.
crazy.
I was kind of bummed in the beginning because I was like, man, it's going to rain everybody out. It kind of stopped a little bit, long enough and slow enough to let the trick-or-treaters come. But it was a rainy Halloween.
Yeah. We go trick-or-treating in Lucy's aunt's neighborhood because we have a party at her house that we go to every year. And I mean, that's where Eden gets to go trick-or-treat. It's a nicer neighborhood. And I've always heard tell of this one house.
Heard tell.
That hands out full-size candy bars and pumpkin beer.
And pumpkin beer? Nice. Did you find it?
Oh, yeah, we did.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that was the fun thing about handing out the bourbon. Eventually, somebody showed up and they go, oh, you're the bourbon house.
That's awesome.
I was like, yes. So you found the pumpkin beer house.
Yes, we did. So I had a New Belgium. It was called Atomic Pumpkin. I think it was a spicy pumpkin beer. It was really, really good. Like, I think I finally found a pumpkin beer that I like.
Nice.
Yeah, it was phenomenal. Brought some standards to the party as well. Turkey 101, Benchmark Full Proof. I also brought, that bottle of Beam Double Oaked.
Oh yeah,
that I've just had sitting around for a while. I never got around to drinking any of it. I only ever saw one guy drink from it, and it was mostly full when I brought it, and there's maybe 3 ounces left in it.
So one dude
drank most of it.
Did you talk to him? Did you ask him about it?
No.
What?
Because he was so hammered by the time that they left.
Well, at least you made somebody's night.
Yeah.
I want to know what he thought of it.
Well, apparently he liked it.
Exactly, but was he just sipping on it? Was he shooting it? Was he mixing it?
I think he was doing whatever he felt like was appropriate at any given moment. Yes, I do.
He wasn't just a rando that you were like, who's this guy over here?
No, I know exactly who he is.
Well, at least you know what he likes.
Yeah.
When he's over.
But I don't know if I want to I don't know if I want to be the one who encourages him to. I mean, I guess I could. I could be the one to enable him.
Well, I'm glad somebody liked it.
I mean, I didn't hate it when we had it.
It wasn't the greatest.
It wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't amazing. It mostly just kind of tasted like Jim Beam.
Mm-hmm.
But it is what it is.
It is what it is.
Folks, we got a review this week. You know how we do. It's been a banger of an episode so far.
Banger.
Hope y'all have enjoyed it. I am so excited to review this beer. This is the second time that the kind folks at New Belgium have sent us this beer. It's the first time that Eric has gotten to try it, though.
Yeah.
It is the Oakspire Four Roses collab Bourbon Barrel Ale, 9% ABV. This is a limited release that comes out once a year.
18% alcohol. I mean,
18 proof.
18 proof.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I look forward to this release every year. It's not as, and I say this even though like it's seemingly more widespread these days, but it's not as limited as something like the Bourbon County Stouts are. I feel like you can walk into just about any liquor store and you can see them in 6-packs, and it's pretty easy to get them. I think it's like $16.99 for a 6-pack as well. I can go back and look at the actual price.
Do we know the barrels that it's finished in Four Roses?
It's finished in Four Roses.
Any particular one? Sorry.
What happened there?
Kind of was talking and burping and hiccuping at the same time. Any particular like special, like the limited barrels or just single barrel, like you know what I mean?
I think it's really just any Four Roses barrels.
Just Four Roses. Okay.
Yeah.
What if they did a thing where they were like, the laser code will say the barrel recipe,
Oh, that'd be fun.
and it's like, I want to get the OESO one.
Liquor Barn's got it for $13.99, so that's probably closer to MSRP.
Yeah, $14
Yeah,
for one, right?
for a 6-pack.
6-pack. Okay,
Yeah.
got it.
So, anyway, but yeah, as far as like what it's aged in, I think it's honestly just Four Roses.
Four
barrel.
Roses. Okay.
So, we're also going to pair it with an OBSV pick.
I bet out of all, if there was going to be one barrel, if they did pick one, it'd probably be OBSV because that's like their main one, right?
Yeah, the last time that we were sent this, they sent just the Four Roses small batch along with it to pair. But I wanted to, you haven't had this pick yet. It was one of those that I got when
The gift shop.
Yeah, while I was on
When you
paternity leave.
When you're fancy pants eating caviar in the
Yeah.
parking lot. Jesus. Snorting caviar.
Snorting. I don't know why you keep saying I was snorting
Dude,
caviar.
You snorting it. It was like a little right on your arm.
Yeah. But this Four Roses OBSV that we're pairing with it was, again, a gift shop pick. 9 years, 8 months. And
Almost 120.
yeah, it's very close. It's like 119.6, I believe. And I'm excited. I'm almost as excited for you to try this pick as I am for you to try the beer.
So beer first.
Beer first,
Okay.
and then we'll get into the bourbon.
I love the color.
So, it's very similar to the color of the Kentucky Bourbon Barrel Ale
Uh-huh.
as well.
Not too light, not too dark.
No.
Just right. Smells pretty good.
Nice malty, a little bit of hops, not too much.
It smells like a beer I would have at with pizza.
Yeah.
Like if I was in like a big brick, like Goodfellas, kind of
You
like.
were just about to describe the Goodfellas
Yeah.
at the distillery district.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Smells really good.
Yeah.
It's got a little orange zest on it. That's so refreshing. And I'm not even the big beer drinker on the show. You definitely
I'm more of a beer drinker than you are,
you
for
definitely
sure.
go through more varieties. I kind of just stick to my light beers and a few random fruity beers here and there, but that's refreshing.
Yeah. For an ale, for a bourbon barrel ale,
Oh yeah.
it's not heavy.
No.
I mean,
Some of those I will say it. Some of those Kentucky ones, they can be little, especially for somebody like me. Especially for somebody who doesn't really get really into beer. Some of those bourbon barrel aged beers are a little like strong for me.
Yeah.
And that's coming from somebody who drinks
He's a bourbon drinker.
bourbon all the time. There's something about it. You got to be used to that kind of combo
Yeah.
to me. You can't be like, I drink bourbon. No, like it can be a little like rough at first. That's refreshing, man.
Yeah.
That is perfect. Not even like, I don't even want that when it's hot outside. I want that in the fall. I want that right now. The weather we have right now, perfect.
It's a little bit cooler.
A little hoodie on. You got a hoodie on.
Yeah.
And you just want a beer, not too strong. It's not like a IPA or anything like that.
No,
That's
but it does have a
delicious.
little bit more hop.
It's got
it.
more than the normal, your normal light beer if you were
Yeah.
drinking that. That's delicious. Yeah. It's got an orange zest to it that I really like. And not like one of those orange beers, like what they put the orange in, like Blue Moons. And
Yeah,
stuff
not
like
a Blue
that.
Moon for sure.
Man, I like that.
I can't drink. I don't know if I've ever talked about this on the podcast either. I can't drink wheat beers like New Moon, and I don't have celiacs, but I cannot drink a wheat beer. It immediately makes me nauseous.
Yeah.
Like the last time that I did, which was, it's been a fair few years.
What
at this
are
point.
the summer shandies?
Wheat beers?
Oh man,
I think so. No. I take that back. I don't think that's right.
Oh, I used to that used to be my go-to in the summer. Summer shandy.
Yeah, I don't want
Summer
to.
shandy.
I don't want to speak. I don't want to speak out of turn
Yeah.
on that.
But I enjoy this
Yeah.
quite a bit. Quite a bit.
So let's. Before we get to the actual bourbon, I want to talk about the bourbon influence on the beer too, because I don't feel like there is a whole lot as far as like the finishing process.
Unless that's what I'm getting the orange from.
It could be, but I don't feel like it's to its detriment either.
No.
I think that it's just the right balance of the beer itself and whatever bourbon component is being thrown in. And, New Belgium is not what you would consider to be a microbrew or a craft brewery.
They're the bicycle ones.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
They're
how
Fat
I always-
Tire.
Yeah, Fat Tire. That's how
Yeah.
I always remember them.
They're a pretty large producer, and they've still got something nailed down as far as like their craft to them.
Yeah.
They're not as big as Anheuser-Busch. They're not as big as, Coors,
They got Four
Whatever.
Roses though.
but they're able to produce on a large scale that makes them feel, like one of the big boys.
Yeah.
Still.
It's good.
So all that being said, I do want to see what happens when the bourbon is introduced to this as a pairing,
Yeah.
I suppose. So Four Roses OBSV.
Are we rinsing before?
No. We'll
Or just have the beer left over in our mouth?
yeah.
Smells delicious.
Immediately it's just a great Four Roses nose.
It smells like barrel proof classic Four Roses.
Yeah.
It's got a little bit of floral, but it's got that fruit. I will say there's some orange.
Yeah.
Maybe that's in my head from this, but it is what it is. It's like an orange creamsicle.
A lot of baked goods. On the
Almost
nose for
like a
me.
brownie that's got it's like brownie and orange, like the cookies, like Jaffa Cake cookies that have like
Oh,
kind of
yeah.
orange and chocolate.
Yeah.
Fuck. That's a good pick.
Yeah.
That is a really good pick. And it is,
Oh man.
it's evil. Because that's 100, let's just say basically 120 proof. And my God,
It doesn't drink like it.
it does not drink like
No.
it at all. That tastes more like a Four Roses small batch, the dark label
Select. Yeah.
It tastes like there's a lot more components in it than just a single barrel.
Yeah.
It's very rounded. That is a very batched tasting single barrel.
Yeah.
That's good, man.
Phenomenal.
Oh, maybe that's some of the beer influence too on that because I still have
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brings out more orange.
It brings out more hops too.
That's a damn good combo.
Yeah. I think that actually the higher proof the higher proof in the bourbon tones down some of the sharper. It really starts to make it feel creamier.
That makes me feel like a man.
It kind of does, doesn't it?
If I was a female, I'd feel like Wonder Woman. I'm just trying to be, I'm trying to
inclusive.
Yeah. That just makes me feel good. It makes me feel like
good.
strong, like
and I
beer
love
and bourbon combo.
That and a good beer and bourbon pairing is one of my favorite things in the world. I've talked about it a million times before, but
I leave that one up to you.
My bar drink is always if they don't have anything that's interesting to me. No, it's Turkey 101 and Miller High Life. Last night we didn't have High Life, and I was doing Turkey 101 and Modelo.
I leave, and I will continue because this does not make me want to venture out and be like, all right, time for the Whiskey Mutant to start pairing beer and bourbon. No, this just reassures me that I'm like, if Perry's bringing some beer and bourbon, or if he wants to do this, like, I'm just going to let you do this because...
Oh, I got more, man.
This is really good.
If there is still any Sam Adams Oktoberfest around, either I'll get it and bring it over so we can do this together, or if you see it, pick some up and pair it with just regular Buffalo Trace.
Okay.
That was the first beer and bourbon pairing I ever had where I felt like
that sounds good.
A whole new world had opened up to me.
Not taken away from Four Roses, but man, like people who sleep on just regular Buffalo Trace. Like, it's not a pick. It's not whatever. Like, just buying regular Buffalo Trace when you see it is a good catch.
Yeah.
Like, it's anyway. I don't know, man. This reminds me. It's funny. This is so funny. Like when you get in that headspace when you're reviewing or having something new, and it takes you back. Like, it's not like a tasting thing. It's almost like a mind thing where it puts you back in like a moment. This puts me back in like to that time when you first started venturing out from like your Bud Lights and stuff, and you went to like a brewery or something, or you tried like a flight, and you're like,
I don't know what to get.
You're like,
what is trying different things.
And what is this beer? What does that mean? What kind of beer is that? And you're like,
that's exactly how I feel about this too.
And I just got that feeling. I like it. It reminds me of that.
It also reminds me of playing shows. You know, when I was a lot younger, and just like getting beers that I either was, marginally familiar with, or that I was, I had gotten at shows before.
See, that shows our age difference, because when I was playing shows, all they would give me was Jack and Cokes. that was.
I probably should have just gotten like Jack and Cokes.
My guitar player would be like, "How many Jack and Cokes have you had?" I'd be like, "Couple." Okay. They moved us to like opening like right before the main band. So at that point I've had a lot, because normally we'd be like the second, third band, and now we're like the fourth or fifth.
I mean, you've heard my drunk show.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Which I still cannot believe that the stars aligned for that, to where they offered a recording that night for us, and I paid for it, and I have that recorded for my own posterity.
Somebody's looking out for you.
No, they weren't, because I played that show
For entertainment.
Yeah, I mean, I was so wasted for that
That's
show.
funny.
It was anyway.
Yeah, this takes me back to that moment of like, oh, so
discovering.
This is what like craft beer, quote, I guess you would say, or like brewery beer is.
Yeah. It's not just Bud Light, Budweiser, Miller Lite. And what's so funny about that, dude, this is something that we talk about all the time, and I think we're even still like coming back to. I don't want to speak for you, but for me, I'm at least going through. But like, you spend all this time when you're starting out as a bourbon drinker with all these bottles that you think you love, and then you start chasing after all these other ones, like your Wellers, your Blantons, and everything, and then you kind of like grow past them, and you have these other new loves, too, and you think, well, I'm over those, but then you come back to them after a while, and you're like, oh, these are still really good, and I still have an affinity for it, even after all this time,
Right.
And like I have never. I think it can be different with beer, because beer's not as much of an investment as bourbon is.
Right. Yeah.
Beer.
You know how much money I'd save if I'd just been in the beer?
I know, right? But the
I would have
the
found
carbs and the calorie difference,
Oh, yeah,
though,
for sure.
with beer.
I've convinced myself that it's not bad that I'm having more pours of bourbon.
I
try to tell myself.
Why do you think I gained so much weight?
I know. Like empty calories, I'll just run them off.
I do miss. I was thinking about this week. I miss going to the gym. Like, I don't have time to now as much as I used to, unless I get up at
You got to get up. You got to get up at 5.
crack of dawn. I basically do at this point. So
You can do it.
Yeah.
You can come work. I'll charge you, but you can work here. I'm like, you can use my gym, but I'm going to charge you a membership.
That'd be great. And then I have to cancel my Planet Fitness membership that I haven't used in a year and a half. But anyway, I think we've done nose, palate, finish, and price on beer before. I don't know how you want to do it with this.
I don't know if there's a different beer scale. Whiskey Mutant beer scale is almost a yes or no.
Yeah.
Because if I kind of don't...
What about... How about a buy bar pass? Like, I feel like a beer is a buy bar pass review system.
Yeah, let's do that.
Because I think that fit is more fit. Sorry, Will and Grease. I hate to like...
I'm not sorry.
I hate to just straight up steal their system for beer, but I feel like it's more fitting for beer in this. Like, for me, it's a buy. Like, I'm buying 6 packs, precious.
My precious beer.
I'm buying 6 packs of these. Like, it's not just a bar drink for me. I think
I can do both.
Well, yeah, of course.
Just like, how many times have we bought Wild Turkey 101 at a bar and paid?
Well,
way
of course.
too
Like,
much for it?
I think in this case, like, pass is not an option.
If I buy this and have it at home,
It's getting crushed.
It's getting crushed. If I'm at a place that's like, what the heck? They have this on there?
Yeah, exactly.
It's a little bit expensive, but I'm going to buy it.
Paying a little bit extra to get it because I would rather have this than,
This is
a PBR or a Miller Lite. Just because it comes out once a year, it's that good that I want to spend the extra money to get it.
I'm crushing it. I'm buying it at a bar. For some reason, it's there. I can't imagine I'm going to a random bar and I'm like, whoa, you have the Oakspire?
Going to Al's bar.
The Oakspire?
I'm thinking about drinking this at Al's bar for whatever reason.
I'm thinking about drinking this at Goodfellas with a pizza.
For sure.
Yeah.
Did you ever, you had to have played at Al's.
Yeah.
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 That was one of my
before you were
favorite.
even allowed to technically be in a bar.
I wonder if we ever like we had there had to have been a period.
Well,
Well, maybe not
You
because you probably
were
had.
like, I don't like that screaming music.
I'm thinking about like
I
there
like
had
the
to have been
bands that
times when-
really know what they're doing.
there had to have been times where we like maybe had played like one night after each other.
I probably bought you a drink at some point. You know how bad I feel thinking about that stuff.
You shouldn't.
Back in the day when I just turned 21, or when I got drinks for free, and like some random person, dude, I love Scandal, I love Descendants, and I'm like, you want a drink? I'm like, they're like, yeah, and I probably gave like 17-year-olds.
Okay, but you're 8 years older than I am.
Yeah, I probably gave like 13-year-old Perry a drink or something.
I was not in a bar at 13 years old.
Yeah.
That was not something that happened.
I was we were in Tennessee at it was crap, the Hideaway, I think, or something, and I just walked. I was so stupid. I'm like 21 years old. They gave me a drink to go because we're drinking at the bar beside of
Awesome.
the side, beside of the venue, and they're like, oh yeah, like they're like a sister thing. They're like,
Fantastic.
take it over there.
Yeah.
Took it over there drinking. Some dude was like, man, I'm really thirsty. I was like, here, just take the rest of this. He's probably like 17 years old or something.
Yeah.
Jesus. Oh, anyway. Yes.
It's a buy for me.
Buy this. I would buy this. Whiskey Mutant would crush this. This single barrel is a buy too.
Oh, I can't even like fully review the single barrel because it was a pick at the store.
Well, I know, but I'm just saying.
But
like,
it's, I
this
mean,
one is definitely.
I almost wish
What?
that I had gotten to. Oh, you know what? I actually didn't pay for this. Chris Kettner bought
I was
me
gonna say
this.
it was a gift for you.
Yeah.
But what's the price on it? I know you know the price.
It was $100.
Yeah. That's worth it.
I mean, I hate that it's gone up so much in price, but I kind of agree.
I mean, it's almost it's a couple of months off from being 10 years old and like barely proof from being 120 proof. Like $100, 4 roses.
Yeah,
barrel.
I agree.
That's good though. This is a good combo.
I ain't mad about it.
I ain't mad about it. I ain't even sick of this at all.
I'm glad you're not sick of it.
I'm not sick of it.
You know what's crazy? We opened up barrel rings, and we have no barrel rings this week.
Yeah, take back what I said about being sick of it.
You're sick of that.
Telling people complaining that we ain't heard this. Where's this? Where's that? It comes back. We open it up.
Nobody participates.
Nobody does it.
Not even Jared.
Jared and Chade are fighting in the Discord.
Yeah, and I love it.
And it makes me happy because I don't have to get involved.
Because you're not a willing
I'm
or
finally
unwilling participant. You're just a viewer
of
yeah.
this. Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway,
but if barrel rings is a segment of the show that you can participate in, apparently if you want to, and if you don't want to, it doesn't matter. But
can they send pictures of that text
Yeah,
message?
they can send pictures.
Send us a picture, and I'm not saying like send us a dirty. No, just send us
Please
a picture. Send us like a picture of like something you've been drinking, maybe your collection, and we'll talk about the picture. That'll be fun.
Oh, you know what? Throughout the rest of the year, send us a picture of your collection, and we'll feature one or two
Yeah,
each week.
that'll be fun.
But if you want to send
And it
us
can be like your a different hobby. It could be like action figure collection, your comic book collection, your movie collection, sneakers, or bourbon, whatever your bar. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Somebody do that, please.
Yeah. But there's a phone number for it. You can call and leave a voicemail or send that text to 859-428-8253. 859-428-8253. That number is also in the description below if you need to reference it, just like all of our other social media stuff that we'll talk about again at the end of the episode. Do you have any high proof hot takes?
High proof hot takes. Laser code conspiracy.
I gotta like.
I just don't. I don't know. I don't think they're real.
Fair enough. I got a good. Sometimes high proof hot takes can be like good things, right?
No.
It always has to be negative?
Yeah. Good things are all tips and bits.
Oh.
How could you have a good high proof hot take?
Like a hot take is, I guess, controversial is how a hot take goes, isn't it? Never mind. All right, tips and bits.
trying to make high proof hot takes a good. That's the most
positive.
The
most Perry thing ever. Yeah, it's.
You know what? I want to spin
very Perry coded.
I want to spin high proof hot takes into a positive thing. You know, no, high proof hot takes is venting.
Yeah, I know. I guess I just don't have anything to vent about this week.
Well, what were you going to say? You got to say it now.
Well, okay. I was going to talk about how little sleep I've gotten since we've had a new baby, and how the perfectly timed 15-minute nap, how amazing it is.
Yeah.
How's
that a high proof hot take?
I don't know, but it doesn't really fit into like a tips and bits.
Take a 15-minute nap. Tips and bits.
Okay, fine. Take a 15-minute nap.
There you go. How is a 15-minute nap a bad thing?
It's not a bad thing. It's just it feels more like
a hot take.
I don't know. I'm sleep deprived.
Kids.
Tips and bits, though. That's our segment of the show where we recommend things that we have been watching, listening to, reading, just enjoying, maybe playing, if it's a video game or a board game. I don't know. I've never recommended a board game on this show, and I never will. Do you know why?
My God. That's a hot take.
Hate board games.
There you go.
That's a hot take. I think board games kind of suck.
Yeah. The most games I've played in the last like 20 years that, or quote, board games, probably just those card games where like you
like Cards Against Humanity.
Yes.
Yeah, I think those are fine. I don't mind card games. Card games, great. Board games,
fun.
We've played Uno together, and it almost started World War III.
Cause I have better rules than you.
You say that, but once we learn your rules, we start using your rules against you, and then you hate us. And you know it to be true.
No comment.
Yeah, fair enough. Anyway, I've got a few things to recommend this week. I don't know if we want to go back and forth.
I've got all music.
All music? Mm-hmm. Wow.
It's been like a metalcore revolution. Like a metalcore revival.
I've kind of got just spooky movies.
What kind of movies?
Spooky.
What kind of movies?
Spooky month's over. Well, now I got to do it. What if I didn't and it was just you doing that normally in the main episode? And everybody's like...
They're like, what the...
I miss it. Now I got to do it myself.
Remember the guy who said he crashed?
He almost crashed his car.
That's a classic bit.
I wonder if that guy's still listening.
If you're listening and you're the guy who almost crashed his car when I did the first ever spooky...
We love you so much. We talk about you all the time. I don't even remember who it was that...
I'll send you something. I'll send you a whole Whiskey Mutant / My Bourbon Pod swag box. Whatever I've got. If you can prove that you're the person, and I don't want none of y'all yahoos.
You have to send us a screenshot first and foremost of the original message that says you almost crashed your car when Eric did Spooky.
Yeah.
And then say that you're still listening to the podcast.
I will send you the best Whiskey Mutant My Bourbon Pod swag box ever. And that's guaranteed. No joke. I want to see that.
Oh, man. So do you want to do music first, or do you want to...
I'll just go through mine.
We'll talk about the movies together.
Yeah, I'll go through
for sure.
A lot of bands that I listen to, like high school, college, like I don't really know. I don't keep up with a lot of that stuff, but for some reason, this like time they all decided to put out new music at like the same time.
That's weird.
And Anberlin put out new music.
Really?
They have also got a new singer who's the singer of another band I listen to. His name's Matty Mullins. But they put out a new single.
What happened to their old singer?
He just, it was just like a retirement thing.
Oh, okay.
He actually fills in on the tour when Matty is with the other band and stuff. So it's not, there's no like drama or anything. Anberlin, Under Oath has put out some new singles, which I will be, me and my bandmates are going to see Under Oath in Newport at the end of the month. So that'll be fun. So Anberlin, Under Oath, Haste the Day. That was one of the bands that you listened to on Patreon when we were doing that. They put out
the
a new
5
song.
and the 5 and 5.
Yes.
Man, that was fun. We should do that again soon.
Bless the Fall put out a new song. I don't know. Like for some reason, all the bands that I listened to during college and high school, end of high school, all started putting out new music at the same time. And it's been awesome. And I don't know. I guess another tip is just go back and like revisit some bands maybe that you like, but you thought didn't do anything. Like you thought that they were just done. They probably put out something new.
Yeah. Or
So-
you thought put out bad music after you stopped
or you're
listening
like,
to them?
wow, why'd they turn into this? Go back. They may sound like you used to like.
Unless it's Maroon 5. Maroon 5 put out one good album and then they sucked.
Sorry, David Levine.
Your
sorry he's
cousin had one good album.
Yeah, one good album. But yeah, go back and listen to some old bands and look them up. They may have some new stuff out. For some reason, it was like a metalcore revolution.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was like, all within like weeks of each other.
Nice.
So I had a little thing where I laid in bed and I put my headphones in and I listened to music and fell asleep just like I used to.
That reminds me of something I've been doing too. I haven't been able to sleep as much because the baby's been up more.
She a night owl?
A night owl who screams? Sure.
My second, aka Eli, was the one that was on my night shift schedule.
Yeah.
And he stayed up with me as a baby. I've talked about this before. I watched so many shows. I binged so many shows at night with him, just sitting there. He's watched Rescue Me. He's watched Sons of Anarchy, like all the stuff.
So what I've started doing is I play white noise on my phone through the night. So I can't, watch something or listen to something on my phone like I would normally throughout the day while the white noise is playing,
Right.
On my headphones. So what I do is I load up podcasts on my computer, and my computer's down in my office, and I just have my Bluetooth headphones, and I put my Bluetooth headphones in, and it plays from there. And it's not like I'm up for a super long time, but, anytime that I'm up for, an extended period, I'll just pop them in and listen to something if I'm, and it's a nice little life hack.
I like it.
I suppose. But anyway, I didn't get around to watching that many scary movies this year because I didn't really have time to like I did before. And there was something about like, I also didn't have the drive to that I normally do.
Some of you may have noticed that there was not a certain Whiskey Mutant thing done this year.
We didn't do it this year. Yeah, but I guess I wasn't on the podcast either. For most of Spooky Month.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. So I watched 3 spooky movies leading up to Halloween.
Let's hear it.
I'll go from oldest to newest.
Okay.
First one was All Hallows Eve, which was the first, I'll say theatrical, even though it wasn't really in theaters, appearance of Art the Clown.
Yeah, this is the prequel.
Yeah. By the way, I'm going to see Terrifier 3 tomorrow night.
Nice.
If you're free, which I doubt you are.
Probably not, but I've been waiting to see it.
the theater was empty when I bought my ticket, so
Better watch out.
I might throw up all over the
You
place.
heard what happened to that one person who watched it by themselves?
Yeah, he came through the TV.
No.
Oh, okay.
Under the seat.
Ooh, that's worse.
Yeah.
Um,
But yes, prequel to Art Clown, he was actually in this movie before The Terrifiers.
yeah, and it was
He doesn't look exactly the same, different actor.
for some of it.
Yeah.
I can't remember the actual actor's name.
He wants to be the next Joker.
He does, and I'm on board for it.
Yeah.
Because he would cosplay and do like fan films.
Yeah.
As the Joker, and I'm all for it. I think it'd be great. Pretty solid. The like anthology parts of it were a little rough with the babysitter.
Yeah.
But I thought the ending was phenomenal, and I can't believe that people are complaining about the Terrifier movies the way that they are based on how this movie ended.
Because they haven't watched that.
I know.
That's the
but
problem.
you know what I mean? Like,
yes.
if you understand who this character is,
Right.
you shouldn't have problems with who this character is.
They don't understand.
They don't get it.
They don't get it.
It's crazy. The next one I watched was It Follows.
I talked about this.
I hadn't seen It Follows yet, though.
The horror STD.
Yeah, it's crazy.
The horror STD.
I thought it was okay.
Have you seen Smile?
I have not seen Smile yet, which is also a horror STD, basically.
Basically.
Yeah.
It's very like the premise is very similar to Smile.
I thought it was fine. There are two things I would have changed about it. One, teenagers are just the stupidest people in the world.
Doesn't change.
It doesn't change. I know.
It's the same. That's reality.
I just wish they had, and maybe it's just the fact that like there was no way to write teenagers any smarter than they are in this situation.
When
maybe
she's like, I'm going to go out on that thing.
so dumb. So dumb. It made me, anyway. Two, I kind of wanted to see it in like a 4:3 aspect ratio and also in like VHS style,
yeah.
with like the static and everything, because it's the time period is largely very vague, and like you're supposed to kind of assume that it's taking place during the 80s, but there is a moment where like one of the characters
Kind of feels 90s.
is 80s or 90s, yeah. But there is a moment like one of the characters is on a cell phone.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, well, now I really don't know when this is supposed to be taking place. But everything kind of leads you to believe that it's in the 80s or 90s.
Yeah.
So regardless, I thought it was good for the most part. I thought the lead was really good in this role. Micah Monroe, I don't know how you say her name for sure.
I don't remember.
But I did watch her most recent movie as my last one, which is Longlegs.
See, I would love to go into a full blown real. We don't have enough time, but Longlegs. It's so good, but
It's so
I hated
good.
the ending.
It was too rushed. It was way too rushed. But I thought it was, if not for the ending, it would have been a 10 out of 10.
Yeah,
It was, but it was like a 9 out of 10.
I agree.
It was maybe the best movie I've ever seen Nicolas Cage in.
If nobody ever told you that was Nicolas Cage,
You wouldn't know.
No.
You wouldn't know. But it was phenomenal. And watching these three movies, and mostly It Follows and Longlegs. And I actually put this in my notes for
You take
tips and
notes?
bits. No, tips and bits.
Am I supposed to do that?
No, this is just the way that I remember tips and bits. Like no. This is just how I remember like things that I want to recommend for tips and bits.
Sorry.
I even wrote this down because I was coming out of like, I think it was It Follows. I had to pause it to like go pee or take care of Eden or something. But I was watching it. I had to watch it on my phone, and I had my headphones in. But I took my headphones out, and it was just
You're like
dead quiet. And for a second, I could feel like I could feel like my heart racing, and I could hear the air. I could hear the air moving through the ventilation, and that was when I like really was like, "Oh, this is awesome." And it didn't like. This is why I appreciate horror movies so much more now than I could have even 10 years ago, where my anxiety was so much more heightened.
Yeah.
And I just like that. What did I write? The humming of the air after you've watched a scary movie and nothing is happening around you.
When it's just
just silent, like it's just you're just sitting in atmosphere, and it's like, oh, there's that. Like, this is the purpose of it. This is why you watch scary movies, because it makes you think about what your reality is like.
Yeah.
And that is so good. And that's why really good horror is so effective.
I agree.
And something like Longlegs, something like It Follows actually is good. And again, It Follows is not a great horror movie.
Not the worst though.
Oh, definitely not. I think All Hallows Eve is actually
Pretty bad.
objectively a pretty terrible horror movie. But It Follows it's effective in a way that makes you feel like this could happen to me.
Right.
You know, you don't know it, like that real world kind of like psychological horror.
Right.
And even Longlegs in a way too.
I mean,
Like
up to that one point,
of
you
course,
think it's real.
Of course. Yeah. Until it turns supernatural.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Anyway, it just made me feel that sense of dread for a second. And like, as soon as I was able to snap out of it, it was
Like,
just so
oh,
good.
That's the point of scary movies.
Yeah,
right
exactly.
there.
And it was awesome. But
That's why I don't like when people are like, horror movies so stupid. Like,
but you have to realize they're not real.
they're not real. And also, like, when you really like just stop and be like, wait a second,
Mm-hmm.
somebody here. Like,
Yeah.
that's when you know.
I've been in the house alone all day.
That's when you know it's like, oh, okay, horror movies. Like, they just get you to like creep yourself out almost. That's what's so fun about it. Tips and bits. Follow Whiskey Morgue if you want bourbon and horror movie content on Instagram.
But I mean, above all three of the movies, at the top of all three of these movies, Longlegs.
Yeah.
I mean,
Other than that ending, when it got, like you said, got supernatural, it was almost 10 out of 10.
But even when it got super, and I'm sorry, this is going a lot longer than I intended for it to. Even when it got supernatural, I didn't hate that aspect of it.
I didn't hate it,
It
but
was
I was
just
like, this is almost perfect.
Yeah. It was just the fact that the ending was as rushed as it was.
Yeah.
I wanted to spend more time with the characters.
Well, I wanted to like this to end and been like, holy shit. Like, that was almost perfect.
Yeah.
But I couldn't, because that's just
not how it was written.
Yeah.
But like everything, and even still, it did that thing where I was like, oh, now it all makes sense. Like, I should have seen this coming. And there were even parts of it where I was like, oh, that makes sense in this context. And like, I kind of was halfway figuring it out.
Right.
Up until they just flat out told us what was happening, which I didn't mind. I don't care. Like, and I thought that the storytelling aspect of it was really good. I thought that they handled the reveal incredibly, incredibly well, especially as they were going back and forth between the different aspect ratios.
Right.
Like that didn't bother me. It really just was the fact that it was like, we have to wrap this up right now.
Yeah.
Like, which didn't make sense to me, because you can write yourself out of that trap
Because what
You're not
was the
being-
runtime of that movie?
It was like an hour 40.
It could have.
It could have been 2 hours.
Used to 2+ hours.
Yeah, I would
movies.
have been completely happy with that.
They could have done more.
I think that there is a director's cut in there
Has to be.
that's waiting to be put out. You know, there's got to be, but even still, again, like it's still a 9 out of 10 movie for me.
Yeah, it was probably one of the best horror movies of. I did watch Smile too, which I didn't talk about, but.
Did you think? What'd you think about it in comparison to the first one?
Maybe a little better.
Really?
Yeah. I should have talked about that, but talked about music. Maybe I'll talk about that next time.
Yeah, fair enough. We've gone long in the tooth on tips and bits.
You know where you can go long on?
I know where you can.
Patreon.com/MyBourbon
never mind.
Podcast. For as little as $1 a month, you can support the show, but at $5, you get all the long stuff. That is where you get all the bonus episodes. You get, like this week, we did Pop Chicka Wow Wow. We also do Sample Irresistible, and then we do Pours from the Floor. You get a lot of extra reviews, different things. You get this episode uncut and early
It is
before everybody else. So patreon.com/MyBourbon Podcast. Also, if you want to get some merch, you can go to bourbonshop.threadless.com. Perry puts all the show logos, you know, anything that has This Is My Bourbon Podcast on it, you can go there and order it.
We put up
Skateboards.
things that we say on the podcast.
Yeah.
Like
Like,
Misa
I didn't do that.
and
Misa
hey,
Jaja Binks.
hey, I'm doing the thing that you'd like me doing.
It's a me Mario. You can go there. You can get merch that says that.
Buy bar pass.
Buy bar pass. Dadgummit. So go there. If you want to send an email to us, this is mybourbonshop@gmail.com. We also said earlier about sending a
Just idiots.
yeah. Sending a picture. We could show your collection, and it doesn't have to be bourbon. It can be shoes. It can be action figures. It can be anything, what you've been drinking. You can send the picture of that, or you can send a picture via text to 859
428
8253. That is our voicemail system or text message system. Leave a voicemail, send us a text. We'll read it out. We'll show you we'll show whatever you want to do there. Just do it.
We'll do it. Whatever.
We'll do it. If you want to send us a physical thing, a sample, something to review, or maybe a snack or anything like that, send a box to
P.O. Box 22609, Lexington, Kentucky 40522.
You'll be right there. You can send yourself there.
We got don't do that. We have samples next week that we're going to be tasting through. I think maybe on the Patreon. I'm not entirely sure just yet, but from Tony Bag of Donuts.
Tony Bag of Donies. So, like, comment, subscribe to all the things. Follow us on all social media as well. You can follow the show as a whole at My Bourbon Pod. You can follow me at Whiskey Mutant. You can follow Perry at PRitter1792. I also have a Disney podcast if you want to listen to that.
Yes, and it's very good. I love it. I listen to it every week, even though I'm an episode behind.
Well, you're gonna love the next episode.
I haven't listened to
I
the
learned
Disney
how to
Adults
download
one
the.
just yet.
I learned how to download the bleep out sound effect.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Nice.
used it twice. It's a small Disney podcast. Once on me, once on April. So there it is. And then just share the show. Tell people about it.
Oh, never mind.
Did it work?
No.
Are you sure? I think it did.
Oh, I think it did too.
I'm telling you, we can't hear it, but I think it works on there.
Yeah, it's working in the noise.
Do it one more time. Fuck, shit, scunt, shoot, dupe.
He said it.
Well, you'll see. You edit. But that's the show.
We've done it.
We done it.
Next week.
Dadgummit.
Next week.
We done it, dadgummit.
We're rounding out the samples and the bottles that we've been sent since I've been gone.
You got a hint? You got to give them a hint for next week?
Yeah. How about this? 2 are from the States, and 2 are not.
From the States?
Like the United States. And 2 are not. But it's not what you think. It's not what you think. See y'all next time. Until then, I'm Perry.
I'm Long Legs. Eric.
This is my Bourbon Podcast. Hope your birthday's not on the 14th. That was awful. It's the worst noise I've ever heard.
Cheers.